Hey guys, what is up? It is Bibsy7 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 vlog here today. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Extinction rewards update that was posted today. They have announced several additional rewards being added to the Extinction quest, as well as some changes to the XP you can get in the Dream of Aya, which is the post-quest reward area. And yeah, I know one of these rewards everyone has been asking for an actual eternity, and I'm sure people are super hyped about it being announced. So without further ado, let's get into it. As you can see, I got the article up here on the screen, and yeah, people were really upset about the rewards for Extinction. I kind of agreed. I think the rewards were pretty bad, especially the Dream of Aya XP was just horrible, and it really needed a buff. I wasn't actually expecting them to just add other straight up rewards. I thought they were going to add additional content to stuff after the quest that would require the quest as well. But instead, they've just added some additional rewards straight to the end of the quest, which surprised me. Also, I'm just going to be doing the recycled event here, so there's nothing going to be to watch in terms of like on the RS screen. But either way. Basically on April 25th, so that's in 2 weeks. On next, 2 weeks from Monday, this was when this will be coming out. There's going to be basically two new rewards added to the quest, and the first one is just a straight up upgrade to your Pontifex Shadow Ring, which is going to increase the drop chance for Elder God Wars bosses, which I would not have expected to be one of the things that they would add to this quest. That was seems kind of out of nowhere. But kind of an anti-early bird bonus to anybody who's grinded Elder God Wars for collection logs before now. But I do wonder how much of an increase it's going to be. It doesn't actually say here. I would assume maybe like 10%, just like that Tablet of Het from the event that they had when Het's Oasis came out. I think that would probably be a reasonable amount. Anything more than that, I think, would probably be too much, but I don't really know. We'll have to see. I think that'll probably be most likely what they do, though, is a 10% buff. So that's really good on its own. But this is the big one that people have been asking for this for so long, and it's finally going to be here. The passive Ring of Vigor effect. Basically, you'll be able to speak to Visindithus after the quest to get a warped gem, and you can combine it with your Ring of Vigor to give you the Ring of Vigor effect passively. So removing the need to ring switch to the Ring of Vigor whenever you are going to be using an ultimate, which is actually so nice, especially with the semi-recent changes to the abilities that you use a bit more often. So like nowadays you'll tend to use more ultimates than before, especially with magic when you're using Tsunami, Omnipower, and Sunshine. But even with other even with other styles, you'll still be using like Dead Shot with range because of the capes, basically, right? Because of the Zuck capes that have made those abilities much better to use. You still wanted to switch to your Ring of Vigor for those because obviously they're ultimates. They'll save you some adren. Now you won't have to worry about that at all. So that's honestly really nice. I know people have been asking for this forever. I wasn't convinced that they were ever going to do it, but they have finally gone ahead and done it. And now I'm sure the number one thing people will harp on about wanting for a passive effect is persistent rage relic, which makes you not lose your adrenaline out of combat, which I agree could be really nice to have as well. But yeah, so I'm really excited about this. Definitely go and do the quest if you haven't done it already prior to these reward changes. April 25th again is when this is happening. Obviously, you don't have to do it before then, but might as well knock it out if you haven't already, especially if you need to get some other requirements out of the way prior to doing it. And yeah, it's a really good quest. Honestly, I have a whole video of me discussing the quest itself and the lore and all that. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on it, I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, I think the quest is great and definitely worth a completion for you, especially now that these rewards are getting added. But that's not all. They're also going to be buffing the XP you can get on the Dream of Aya after the quest. So you'll be getting a little bit more XP per 3 ticks, which is just the only thing that'll change is basically just makes it faster to get your XP. So the XP per hour will be better, just barely, and it'll just be faster to get through the XP that you've put in there from your Anachronia resources. But this is probably the biggest change, or well, there's two that are probably the biggest changes. First one being they've changed it from 10 to 1 over to 10 to 5, which is much, much better. I'm pretty sure I mentioned in my video on the quest that I think it should be like multiplied by 10. But even still, multiplying it by 5 to be, quite a bit more valuable, each resource from Anachronia is definitely good, I think. So basically now it's a 5 to 1 for the XP, and I think that is much better. And now basically every 5 resources you get from Anachronia and put into one of the stations will give you one of the XP in there. And they've also increased the cap. I think it was only 60,000 before, I'm pretty sure. And now they're upping it to 350,000. So you'll be able to go quite a long time without actually having to claim the XP if you just want to use it as a daily where you go there and put away your stuff. But I don't think you'd even have to do it every day. I'm not 100% sure how much. I guess it says this equates to 43,000 XP per day if storage is kept up. So let me see. 43,000 times 5? No, that wouldn't work unless you have to go there multiple times a day. I'll go check Anachronia in a second after this. Or I'll probably just look it up because I don't want to leave the event. Because I'm on my backup hardcore here, so I don't want to spoil anything for the upcoming episodes. I can avoid it. But yeah, you can now store up to 350k, which is a lot. You'll also get an additional buff. Sorry, can't talk. You'll also get an additional buff to your existing XP in there. If you've already built one, you'll get an extra 120k XP for for yourself just for having it already built, since you're obviously would be missing out on the extra storage space right now. And you'll also get 135k XP when you build it in there instead of the current 15k. So that's obviously what this 120k is to make up for, because if you've already built it, you only got 15k, and if you hadn't built it yet, you'll get an extra 120k on top of that. So they just give you the 120k if you've already built it. But not only that, but they're also adding additional loot to the when you're doing the skilling. So right now, as far as I know, when you're doing the skilling, you don't get anything from it, except you can possibly get, I think, those stories for oh god, what's Sherigan? I think you can get the story unlocks for the post quest master questscape thing. But now you'll be able to get dinosaur eggs, which is pretty awesome, and laboratory relics from the Dragonkin laboratory, which is really strange. But that's pretty sweet. So those are some really cool things you can get from there. There's also a new necklace, which will grant extra bonuses against Slayer dinosaurs and the Rex matriarchs. I'm interested to see what those bonuses are going to be. Kind of strange, random thing there. And you'll also be able to shrink yourself into a lizard, I guess. I guess it's just going to be like a transmog ring, but for a necklace. And then they even say more useful goodies they won't spoil for us here. So sounds pretty sweet. They're going to be actually having stuff you can get from it. Sounds like the Dream of Aya is going to be much, much better and more worth doing, even if not necessarily for just the XP. These additional rewards, I think, will for sure make it something you want to at least be doing a little bit of. And they're also adding a bank to the area. Obviously, this will be important to have because of getting any of this loot. Right now, you don't get anything or need anything there, so there's no point in having a bank. They've also added a grace period to the Master Questscape requirement for getting all the stories from the Dream of Aya. I don't really know where I fall on grace periods. I know people are pretty conflicted on them. Some people think every update should have a grace period. Some people don't want grace periods at all. I don't think I really have a right to put my 2 cents in there too much, since I don't have a comp or a Master Questscape. So, whatever. But I mean, I had comp before on my main account a while ago, before 120 farming and herblore came out. And personally, I would say at that time, I would not want grace periods too much. I think for something like a new skill or a skill being moved to 120, that is something that warrants a grace period. but I don't think for like every single small update there should be one. I don't know. That's just my opinion though, and I know it's definitely a contentious thing. But they also say here that looking ahead, the next update will require you to have completed Extinction and will teach you how to craft something you can use for countless other boss fights. So, yeah, I have no idea what that is. Craft something for other boss fights, but I hope we hear more about that soon. I'm assuming that they said, by the way, on Reddit shortly after the quest came out, that the next 2 updates would require the Extinction quest. So I'm assuming that this is the first one of those 2 updates. I kind of get the feeling that they had probably already planned these additional rewards, but maybe weren't able to get them finished for the actual quest release, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, they said the next 2 updates would be requiring the Extinction quest. So I assume this is the first one, and then the next one is going to be some new thing you can craft, which is going to, be good for boss fights. I have no idea what that could be. We'll have to see. And 1 second, I'm going to look up quickly Anachronia base camp. Let's see what they can tell me here about how many resources you get per day. Let's see. It's the storehouse, the sleeping quarters. Yes. You have 60 workers, and Tier 3 has a maximum gathering ability of 3,600 resources per hour. 3,600 times 24. So you get 86,400 resources in a single day using the maximum amount of workers on a single resource. Divide that by 5 for 5-to-1 XP. That is 17,280 XP per day. So still not a lot of XP per day. I'm really kind of confused as to what they mean right here. This equates to 43,000 XP per day over selected skills if storage is kept up. That doesn't make any sense to me, because if you go and deposit your XP once a day, you'll get 17.2k XP in there. So how does it equate to 43,000 XP per day? I'm not sure. Maybe they're just counting when you build it brand new. I don't know. Maybe that's it, but still, that's the amount of XP per day you get. So definitely not a lot of XP per day, but at the same time, it's completely passive, and you can just wait and store up a bunch of XP before claiming it, and then you're also gonna be able to get this loot from it. I think the loot is probably the biggest addition, since the XP itself still isn't that huge. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what other loot they add to it, as well as these other ones that they've already listed. Should be pretty sweet. And yeah, I'm pretty excited for these changes. So let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. As far as this week's update goes, I didn't make a video. I went ahead and made a excuse me. I went ahead and made a backup hardcore episode instead. But basically, they have just re-enabled the Spring Festival from last year. It's the same exact event. Nothing has changed at all. They added a giant butterfly that spawns sometimes and flies around, but that's about it. So there's really nothing. Apparently, they even hadn't changed the dialogue of the NPCs, so that they were still talking about how the world is ending soon, even though it just, like, the timeline for it all just ended. So that's kind of awkward. And yeah, just a real copy paste with another BS Treasure Hunter promo. And really, there was nothing in the patch notes here. I wonder if they changed, because the patch notes were really weird. Like, first of all, this is talking about Elder God Wars, but it's pretty much just talking about the quest. So why would it not just be Extinction quest patches? Like, it's almost all about the quest, which is kind of weird. And then this, what is this? Professions 120 farming and herblore? Like, why? What is that? That is such a weird. Like, I've never seen them call anything in the game professions. So very strange labeling of the patch notes, despite there being pretty much no interesting or important patches in there this week. So yeah, didn't really feel like a video was warranted on that. Also, if you haven't heard, somehow they are increasing membership price, which, you know, depending on your financial situation and everything like that, you can make your own arguments as to whether or not you think it's BS. Most people think it's BS. I don't really have a huge opinion on it because I haven't paid with real money in the game for a long time. I've been paying with bonds for multiple years now. And I mean, if you're someone who, you know, is older and you know, does your own grocery shopping and whatever, I mean, the price of everything right now is going up by quite a lot, even more than, you know, this is being increased by. So it's not completely unreasonable, but at the same time it's definitely not very well timed from Jagex given the current, I guess, temperament of the community. Maybe if they had given us some detail on the fifth boss of Elder God Wars and then announced this, that would have been, you know, it would have been more well received or at least less raged at. I don't really have huge opinion either way. For me, I'm sticking with bonds pretty much. The one thing that is concerning to me is they are making it so that you can now purchase 12-month Premier Club at any point during the entire year. Um, but they don't say that you'll still be able to purchase it at any time with 20 bonds. And if they remove the ability to purchase Premier Club with 20 bonds, I will be pretty pissed off because that would be really, really stupid. And yeah, that just, I really hope they don't mess with that. I posted on Reddit trying to get them to respond to say if that will still be possible, but didn't receive an answer. Hopefully we will be given more details soon. These changes take effect on May 4th, so at the very least by then we will know if it is possible or not. Also, something else that people are really mad about that I really agree with is rune metrics being stupidly overpriced and for something that should honestly be free, namely because it barely even works properly and it's horribly, you know, it's horribly designed and looks like trash. It's $75 a year for rune metrics, which is actually disgusting. That's so much money for that because a year of membership is $80. So it's only $5 less per month or per year for rune metrics. You basically need to pay double membership to get membership plus rune metrics. It's actually so stupid. I really don't understand it. But yeah, so now Premier Club will be available at any time, and if you buy that, that makes the monthly membership only $6.66. So it is like a 50% discount buying a year's worth of membership, which is kind of a lot. But I know not a lot of people, or you know, a lot of people don't want to have full membership for the year. But either way, I mean, that's basically it. You guys can, you know, you guys can, you know, have your own thoughts on what you think about the price changes and all that. But as far as the Extinction rewards go, I think they look really, really good. I'm honestly shocked that they actually went ahead and did the Ring of Vigor passive effect. It's something people have asked for absolutely forever. I just didn't honestly expect them to go and do it because of, you know, it was just such a meme at this point. So good to see that, and looking forward to seeing what other rewards come from the Dream of Aya, as well as whatever this new craftable thing is going to be that they're going to maybe release following the next update. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace out.